His full name is James Stephen Donaldson, and he was born on May 7, 1998, in Wichita, Kansas. But almost immediately, his family moved due to his parents' work in the U.S. military. Growing up in a military family means that discipline and duty are at the center of his life, although sometimes not by Jimmy's own will. His mother, Susan Donaldson, gained some fame for being the first female guard at the only U.S. military prison in Europe during those years. From a young age, constant moves deprived his life of stability. Additionally, due to his parents' long working hours, he and his two brothers, CJ and his younger sister, were left in the care of a nanny. After moving several times, the family finally settled in Greenville, North Carolina. These years were chaotic. His mother, Susan, was distant and hardly ever home. But life with his father, Charles Donaldson, was even worse. Although Susan was the prison guard, in the Donaldson household, she became the prisoner. Charles sought to control every aspect of family life and became an abusive man, both physically and emotionally, leaving wounds that would take years to heal. And as if the situation at home wasn't difficult enough, a tragedy struck the family. Jimmy's younger sister was diagnosed with leukemia. The news made Susan reconsider her priorities. She now understood that the life and well-being of her children were the most important things, so she devised a plan to protect them. One day, she told her children to gather their things and left with them, getting away from Charles. That same year, she obtained a divorce, but the fights with her ex-husband didn't end, and the family remained trapped in a hostile environment. The situation worsened further with the 2008 financial crisis, which affected the American middle class and caused Susan to lose all her money. These were hard times for the family, aggravated by his mother's extreme exhaustion, as she suffered a crisis that made it difficult for her to keep her job. Amidst all the chaos, Jimmy found a way to distract himself, and that was YouTube. He spent long hours watching content from different creators, but almost unintentionally, he ended up becoming the creator. One day, Jimmy recorded his screen while playing a game called Battle Card. Another player destroyed his base using illegal cheats. Something inside him told him to upload it to YouTube, and that first video got 20,000 views. Jimmy says that at that moment he fell in love with YouTube, and from then on, he began uploading videos regularly. For little Jimmy, YouTube was a hobby. Something changed when he saw a video by his favorite creator, Woody Gamertag, in which he said he quit his job to dedicate himself entirely to YouTube. In these early years of the platform, few knew it was possible to earn money as a content creator. For Jimmy, discovering this was a revelation. Realizing he could make a living from making videos, he began to seriously consider this possibility for his future, which made him take video creation much more seriously. When he created the channel we now all know as MrBeast, his best friend was there with him. It was a guy named Chris Tyson, who, besides being his friend, was also his first subscriber. Initially, the type of content he created was exactly what you would expect from a kid of that age in those years. He usually uploaded videos playing some video games, mostly Minecraft and Call of Duty. He also launched another project along with some of his friends called We Talk Gaming. In these videos, it is clear that the most important thing for them was spending time together and having fun for a while. But for Jimmy, being a YouTuber was already one of his life goals. His videos during these early years were somewhat bad, at least that's what he himself has said. His lack of experience made it difficult to produce quality content, but the equipment he had made things even more complicated. He had a terrible quality camera, a computer that used to belong to his brother, and was in terrible condition. It turned off and froze constantly. And on top of that, he had to record all videos in secret from his mother, because he hadn't told her he made videos. Oh, and he also says he didn't even know how to use editing software. He was literally starting from scratch. When he was 15 years old, life presented Jimmy with a complicated obstacle. Doctors diagnosed him with Crohn's disease. This is a chronic disease that causes inflammation in the digestive tract, so Jimmy literally couldn't eat. During this period, he lost a lot of weight, had no energy, and felt sick all day. But despite all this, Jimmy's obsession with growing on YouTube was so great that he continued regardless of the illness. He quickly realized that if he wanted to grow, he needed to make content not only of better quality, but with the goal of it going viral. Content that people would want to see no matter what. He got to work on it, and little by little, the effort began to pay off, and he managed to start earning a few dollars from his videos. By this time, he also began to diversify his content, trying different things besides his commentary gameplays, in which, by the way, his obsession and desire to grow on YouTube could be perceived. But in one of those tests to diversify his content, he came up with a video titled "How Much Money Does PewDiePie Make?", who was one of the biggest YouTubers in the United States. This video turned out to be a total success, to the point of becoming one of his first viral videos compared to the rest of the videos he had uploaded so far. Since he saw that the topic of money interested many people, he made it a sort of series in which he talked about money on YouTube. He even uploaded a video stating how much he earned, which also brought him many more views. This, besides getting him more subscribers and money, made him realize that money is a topic that the YouTube audience is interested in. With the money he earned, he began to invest in better equipment, because since he saw potential in this, he knew he had possibilities to grow more. As I had already mentioned before this, Jimmy used the old computer, low-resolution cameras, austere lights, and improvised tripods with old childhood trophies taped to the base. The only way it seemed to work was by an act of God. In 2015, Jimmy uploaded a video addressing himself in 5 years, telling himself that if by then he hadn't reached 1 million subscribers, he had failed in life, demonstrating with this that YouTube was now his priority and biggest goal in life. Since Jimmy didn't like video games anymore, he had to look for another type of content to upload as main content. So for that, he got the help of Chris, his best friend. But this is when a big problem arose in Jimmy's personal life. He was about to graduate from high school. This was a problem because he had decided not to go to college because he knew his future was in content creation. But his mom was not happy with this idea. When Jimmy finally told her about his channel and his plans, she was furious. She told him that if he wanted to keep making his videos instead of studying at the university, he would have to get out of the house. But since Jimmy wasn't making that much money with the videos yet, he had no other choice but to stay and go to college as his mom ordered. When college started, Jimmy felt frustrated. He hated his classes because he felt they were a waste of time. Due to this demotivation, Jimmy stopped attending classes after just 2 weeks and used this free time to prepare scripts, record his videos, and edit them. Of course, this was hidden from his mother. He knew that if he didn't make it on YouTube, he would have to pursue a degree, so he used this as motivation to make his projects work. At this point in his life, he began uploading videos about anything, literally anything, although always with the intention of them going viral. We have a video of Jimmy reading the entire script of the movie B-Movie, another video where they put a microwave inside another microwave to see what happens, and a video where he cuts a plastic table in half using only plastic knives. It seems the only thing they have in common is how absurd they are, and that the number of views started to rise on all of them. This is no coincidence, but pure determination, as Jimmy began to meet other creators online with whom he spent up to 18 hours a day talking about tips and mistakes within the platform, and all this dedication began to pay off. Around that time, MrBeast managed to earn enough money per month to become independent. He also proposed the idea to Chris that they move in together, and he accepted. In an interview, his mother says that one day he simply left, and that she never had to pay any rent, or car loan, or bills, or anything. Jimmy was making it on his own. It is also at this point where he got his first truly viral video, which is titled Counting to 100,000. The video has a very simple premise. Jimmy sits in front of the camera and counts number by number until reaching 100,000. And although it's a simple idea, the recording was almost like torture for Jimmy, as it took him 40 hours to complete. As Jimmy had foreseen, the video received millions of views and comments from people surprised by the video's duration. While some highlighted the young man's dedication to completing a challenge like this, many others commented on the stupidity and banality of the challenge in the first place. But ultimately, their opinion didn't matter, because even the people who thought it was a dumb idea clicked on the video out of curiosity. Thanks to this video, his channel grew at a speed never before seen by Jimmy, and 4 months after the publication of this video, Jimmy reached his goal of 1 million subscribers. More motivated than ever, Jimmy got to work even harder. He says his routine was as follows: wake up, work all day on videos, go to sleep, and repeat the exact sequence the next day. A short time later, he received his first opportunity to work with a brand. They contacted Jimmy to offer him nothing more and nothing less than $5,000 to show a product on his channel. But Jimmy didn't accept it. Instead, he told them he would only do it for $10,000. Jimmy did this out of ambition, but not for the money itself, but because he had a plan, wanted to take the commercial money, go out to the street, and give it in cash to a homeless person. He knew that if he did it right, it could be the most viral video in his history. Because of this, Jimmy told the idea to the brand representative, who was surprised to hear the plan, as no one in their right mind would give away that amount of money. But Jimmy was so insistent and so sure it would work that he ended up convincing the representative to pay that amount. Afterward, Jimmy told the idea to Chris, and although he couldn't believe it, he agreed to help him record the video. This started in a Walmart parking lot, where Jimmy placed a microphone and gave Chris a camera to film him from afar. Then, Jimmy walked towards where the homeless man was and simply told him he was filming a video for YouTube, and then gave him the $10,000. When he opened it, he was surprised, but above all, he got emotional and thanked Jimmy. After this, they interviewed him to learn a little about his life and even took him to eat. This small, yet enormous act changed the course of his life. He says he had never felt more fulfilled as a person than in that moment when he could help the man. And besides feeling this personal satisfaction, the video, as Jimmy predicted, became extremely viral for the YouTube of those years. So viral that he managed to recover $10,000 he invested and more. So he now had greater purchasing power to make more videos. So, with this combination of factors, it seems Jimmy had found the direction he would give it to his channel and his life in the future. When Jimmy told his mom about his experience with the video where he gave money to the homeless person, she could see a transformation had occurred in him. She had never heard him so excited about a video before, and she could feel things were about to take a turn. After finding success with the homeless man video, Jimmy replicated this formula with more people and in more contexts. He gave thousands of dollars to other random people on the street, to Uber drivers, and also to pizza delivery drivers. He loved seeing the look of surprise and happiness on people's faces because he liked knowing he was doing something good for them. The feeling of helping others is something he has pursued since that day. To this day, currently, when Jimmy remembers these moments, tears come to his eyes. One person in particular made a great impression on him. After making the video with the pizza delivery drivers, one of them returned to Jimmy's house the next day to thank him for the money. He told Jimmy that it meant a lot to him because thanks to that money, he was able to take the rest of the day off and spend it with his son. On a more personal note, thanks to the money he makes from these videos, he was able to surprise his mom with a gift. He gave her a check for $100,000 to pay off her house. At first, she told him she couldn't accept it, but Jimmy explained that he was actually doing her a favor because that way he would have a new video for the channel, and it is actually a very sweet video. Mother and son share a hug, and she realizes how much her son is achieving in his life. From these videos and the positive response from the audience, Jimmy realized he had a golden opportunity. He could transform this formula into a machine to give a specific structure to his videos, the same structure he has perfected to become what we know today. Basically, these types of videos are very successful, which means they are going to make a lot of money. What Jimmy does is take the money from the previous video to record the next one, and in this way, an economically self-sufficient content machine is created. Now the pressure is even greater, as Jimmy has a new goal: to be the best YouTuber of all. And to achieve this, his strategy is to focus on creating more and better content. Since the ideas are increasingly ambitious, Jimmy realizes he needs more help and adds 3 more of his friends to the team: Chandler Hallow, Garrett Ronalds, and Jake Franklin. Chris also remains an essential part of the channel. But before continuing to tell you this story, you need to know something about Chris, because it will be important due to a controversy that he will cause in the future. This friend, who has accompanied MrBeast for so long, in the future, approximately 2022, will begin a transition from male to female. But since I am telling this story more or less linearly, and at the moment he hasn't transitioned, we will continue referring to him as Chris. These friends spend their time recording videos or analyzing content from the most famous YouTube channels to try to decipher the key to their success. They wake up at 7 in the morning to talk about how to dominate the YouTube algorithm, for which they meticulously study the titles and thumbnails of the most popular channels, camera angles, and the cuts per minute. They become data analysts to find the code that will get them success on YouTube. In other words, they become obsessed. And on many occasions, obsession can pay double. They start releasing videos like one where they deliver 100 pizzas to random people's houses, another titled, "I gave people $20,000 from an ice cream truck," where he sets up an ice cream truck only instead of serving ice cream, they give bills to whoever comes to buy. Then he does another where he sticks bills on trees in different places, and later one where he tries to fly using only lots of leaf blowers. We also see others that Jimmy makes knowing that they will be viral, like one where he builds a car using only Legos, or another in which he tests water repellent shoes to try to walk on water. All these videos have thumbnails and titles very well thought out to be viral. Most have the money part in common, which Jimmy has learned works very well, and also a factor where there are exaggeratedly large, surprising things or disproportionate quantities. Basically, he takes everything to the absurd. Fortunately for these guys and for Jimmy, all the effort they dedicate to the channel works. Proof of this is that the number of subscribers increases more and more, and contracts with brands and collaborations with other important YouTube channels stop arriving. The videos turn out to be one more successful than the last. So MrBeast has increasingly ambitious ideas where he reinvests more and more money and hires more and more staff, giving more work to more people. Finally, the day he had waited for so long arrives. On November 13th, 2018, MrBeast reaches 10 million subscribers. And to celebrate, he has a gift prepared for the subscriber who made this possible: $1 million. He records a video where he gives the money to the young man, and this, of course, also goes viral. By this point, MrBeast already has the fame and sufficient purchasing power to be giving away exorbitant amounts of money, so his image begins to consolidate as that of a man who likes to help others through large donations. In fact, the following year, he founded a philanthropy channel that donates 100% of its profits to a company in charge of managing food donations for needy people in North Carolina and Eastern Carolina. Alongside these philanthropic-style videos, on his main channel, he begins a line of content that ends up being quite successful, which could be defined as challenges or competitions. These videos have something in common. They all involve some kind of competition, usually linked to a very expensive prize. This line of content, as you can see, is somewhat different from what he was uploading before, because now it isn't just acts of charity for charity's sake. They're distinguished from videos truly centered on philanthropy by a specific factor, and that is that to receive the money, they must do something in return. For example, one of the videos of this new content line revolves around the following dynamic. He offers randomly chosen people $10,000 in exchange for eating a ghost pepper, one of the hottest chili peppers in the entire world. It is approximately 400 times hotter than Tabasco sauce, approximately 200 times hotter than a jalapeno pepper, and approximately 6 times hotter than a habanero pepper. This case is no longer charity, because he doesn't give the money away. He gives it to them in exchange for something else. This means that basically he pays them for a service, one that consists of becoming a source of entertainment for his channel, even if this is at the cost of their suffering. The problem with this particular video is that the ghost pepper is so hot that it is even dangerous for humans, and the people who appear in the video could have suffered some damage from consuming it. Other challenges or competitions that MrBeast comes up with at this time is a video in which he awards a boat to the last person to keep their hand glued to it, which by the way is in the middle of a lake. In this video, he invites some of his friends to participate, but they have to be hours under the sun and submerged up to the waist in the water. Laughter is not lacking, but the discomfort on their faces is visible. In these videos, the factor of large amounts of money is still present. Only now this money is not given away, but earned. It's no longer charity, it's something slightly different, and these videos will only increase in difficulty and number of participants over time. For now, they are his friends, so there isn't much controversy. This will come when there is a lot of cash involved, and many people who need it will push themselves to the limit to get it. In 2019, Jimmy reaches 20 million subscribers. It is an important number, and his followers expect some special video for this event. In the comments, many suggest ideas, but one of his fans posts on Reddit an idea to celebrate this milestone. He says MrBeast should raise $20 million to plant 20 million trees. That is, for every dollar, a tree would be planted. This idea goes viral and soon reaches Jimmy's ears, who loves it. So, together with another YouTuber named Mark Rober, they launched the Team Trees initiative. The campaign quickly goes viral through social media and becomes so popular that even Elon Musk donates $1 million. Thanks to this noble cause and the support of many people, Team Trees reached its goal before the year ended. Once they have the 20 million, Jimmy and Mark take that money and donate it to the Arbor Day Foundation, the organization in charge of planting the trees. In total, 20 million trees are planted in various forests around the world. Shortly after, the pandemic halts the world. But MrBeast does not slow his momentum. In December 2020, he launched MrBeast Burger, a virtual business based on ghost kitchens that generates jobs and allows ordering food through delivery services. In addition to indirectly supporting with his business, he continues to donate large sums to needy people. During the pandemic, he uploads several videos helping those who have lost their jobs or belong to vulnerable groups, like homeless people. In one of his most impactful videos, he and his team visit 5 stores and buy absolutely everything to donate it. First, they acquire all the clothes from a store and give them to an organization that supports homeless people. Then, at a video game store, they buy the entire inventory and wrap it as Christmas gifts for children in an orphanage. Afterward, they visit a car dealership and give away all the vehicles. They also buy the complete inventory of a sports equipment store and donate it to youth teams in a marginalized area. And finally, in a supermarket, they fill carts with food and donate them to a food bank. Although his intention is to help, the public begins to feel a bit uncomfortable with the YouTuber's philanthropy, as some people opine that in a certain way, MrBeast is transforming the suffering and need of these people into entertainment for the rest. To better understand what I mean, here are MrBeast's thumbnails categorized according to the different content lines he manages. First, we have the one versus videos. In these, objects with extreme prices are compared, like something costing $1 versus something costing millions. These comparisons can be of houses, planes, cars, or anything else you can imagine. Another quite popular content line is survival. In these videos, Jimmy and his friends expose themselves to challenging situations in which they must survive for a set number of days. For example, in one video, Jimmy tries to survive 7 days on a floating raft in the middle of nowhere. In another, he survives in an abandoned city, is buried alive, or faces any type of extreme challenge. However, the line of content that began to cause surprise and indignation is that of the tournaments, where he puts a group of people to compete for a prize ranging from hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. The problem arises from the way these competitions competitions are designed. Throughout the history of entertainment, there have been hundreds of shows where people compete for money. For example, one of the most famous is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, in which contestants answer general knowledge questions to win money. We also have other shows like Wipeout, a physical performance and balance competition where participants must overcome obstacles. Deal or No Deal, the one with the briefcases. Or one of the most famous, Big Brother, a reality show in which contestants live together in a house and compete in physical and strategic tests to avoid being eliminated. The difference between these contests and MrBeast's is that in his tests, intellectual or physical skill is often not required, simply resisting sleep and fatigue. For example, among the most popular videos of this style, there's one in which contestants must put their hands on a Lamborghini, and the last one to take it off the car keeps it, just like that. Another, also quite popular, consists of locking 100 contestants inside a red circle and telling them that the last one to leave wins the competition. Obviously, these tests last entire days, with sleepless nights and long hours standing, without moving or in uncomfortable positions, all for the possibility of winning a prize that could change their lives or help them get out of a difficult economic situation. While there are contestants who only participate for fun, many others are in complicated economic conditions or vulnerable situations. Another video that caused quite a stir was the one in which MrBeast gathered 100 people, aged between 1 and 100, in a giant warehouse, each in a cubicle. The competition consisted of not leaving the cubicle, and the last one to do so would win $500,000. Some contestants declared that if they won, they could pay their mortgage, pay off debts, or finally retire because although they are elderly, they don't have enough savings to enjoy their old age in peace. And once again in this contest, desperation and physical and emotional fatigue abound. Proof of this discontent with what the creator is doing is a quite disturbing animation that a YouTube channel called Meat Canyon made. The animation shows MrBeast recording a video in front of a man in a hospital whose life is in danger because he needs a heart transplant. MrBeast offers him two options, a heart that would save his life or a Tesla. The man, surprisingly, chooses the Tesla. In a shocking scene, MrBeast dangles a cooler with the heart the sick man needs right in front of him, as if saying, I have what can save you, but first I need to make a video about it. The challenge he imposes on the patient is to find the car key inside hundreds of coolers full of human hearts before time runs out. Hearts that could save many lives. In the end, the sick man gets the key and wins the Tesla. But in the animation's outcome, MrBeast leaves the hospital, records another video declaring he has bought everything, and then destroys the hospital into 1,000 pieces. Meat Canyon's animation is a quite forceful critique of the way MrBeast turns human desperation and need into entertainment. By exaggerating his competition dynamics, the animation poses the question of to what extent his content really helps people and at what point it becomes an exploitation of their vulnerability. If compared with MrBeast's real-life contests, there is a clear parallel. In his videos, participants often do not compete based on their talent or effort, but on their resistance to suffering. And that's suffering, the same that people are willing to tolerate out of need, is what becomes part of a massive spectacle. Basically, human need as a simple resource to generate views. This is the reason why many people have labeled MrBeast's content as poverty porn, a term coined by Colombian filmmakers Luis Ospina and Carlos Mayolo in the 70s, when they released their film Agarrando Pueblo, The Vampires of Poverty, which criticizes the exploitation of misery through a mockumentary. With this film, the directors denounce how poverty is commercialized for entertainment purposes, turning others' misfortune into a spectacle ready to be consumed. This genre is characterized by the spectacularization and aestheticization of suffering, but without delving into the social or political causes that make these marginalization conditions possible. The year 2021 arrives, and this is when the series Squid Game premieres, a Korean production that quickly becomes a global phenomenon. It follows the story of a group of 456 people with money problems who are invited to participate in a mysterious program in which they must compete for a prize of 45.6 billion Korean won, approximately 38 million US dollars. What they don't know is that these games have a deadly twist. Participants who lose are eliminated in a very violent way. The last survivor is the winner. The series offers a critique of economic inequality and the way these power structures that govern society foster dehumanizing attitudes toward the most vulnerable people. Specifically, it criticizes the exploitation of the poor at the hands of the rich, as in the series, the suffering of the participants becomes the entertainment of the upper classes. Something that might sound familiar to you after seeing MrBeast's content. Well, when Jimmy watches the series, beyond seeing the social critique it exemplifies or the message it conveys, it seems that what he focuses on is how entertaining these types of competitions are. Because of this, he uploads a TikTok where he says that if that video reaches 10 million likes, he would create his own version of the games. In a short time, he gets the likes and recording begins in mid-October. This is a very ambitious project and costs around $4 million to carry out. Although it is a recreation of the series' competition, some things change to fit more with the rest of MrBeast's content. For example, in this version, the eliminated do not go home empty-handed. Everyone receives a consolation prize of at least $2,000. Just like in the series, 456 participants are selected, and the winner will obtain a prize of $456,000. The tone of the competition also changes, as in MrBeast's video, the goal is not to make social criticism, it is only to entertain. Finally, in November 2021, he uploads his version of Squid Game. It is a resounding success, and many praise the relentless production as well as the attention to detail. But despite being very well received by his followers, the video is not immune to criticism. They say MrBeast failed to recognize the anti-capitalist message of the series, and instead created a video that turns the nightmare of the series into reality. All of us watching this video are consuming as entertainment the desperation of the participants, the majority of whom only compete out of need. If they already had the money or a project that gave them cash flow or a stable job, they wouldn't spend so many days on set trying to compete for that money. 2021 is one of the best years for MrBeast, but also one of the worst, as he becomes involved in a series of controversies that put his kind and helpful image at risk. The New York Times writes an article about Jimmy Donaldson, in which, in addition to talking about his work with the channel and his goals, they present a series of interviews with former employees of the YouTuber, who reveal a reality very different from the one we see in his videos. Apparently, they say that when the cameras turn off, he transforms, becoming a despotic and even rude boss to his employees. They say his scoldings are so strong that they left the room crying, something that contrasts completely with the Jimmy we see in the videos. This controversy is a hard blow to his image, but the MrBeast brand has become so big that it manages to recover almost immediately as the accusations get buried among the mountains of content Jimmy uploads to his channels. Because yes, now, in addition to having his personal channel and his Philanthropy channel, he also has 4 others, each focused on a different theme, like video games and public reactions to his own videos. By diversifying his content, he creates many new opportunities to generate money, and in fact, Forbes magazine names him the highest paid YouTuber in the world. Despite the controversies he faces this year, nothing seems to stop MrBeast's growth, and in 2022, he reaches 100 million subscribers. This year, he also launches his new chocolate brand called Feastables, with which he also finds success. The next big step in MrBeast's career occurs in 2024, when he resumes a project he started years before. In March, Jimmy Donaldson announces that he has just signed a contract with Amazon Studios to record the reality series Beast Games, which would resume the idea of Squid Game, but now on a much larger scale, with 1,000 participants competing in both physical and mental challenges. The winner would get $5 million, the largest prize of any show in history. However, in the middle of recording the program, controversy arrives once again at MrBeast Studios. In July 2024, accusations arise against Ava Chris Tyson. It is important for you to know that by this point, MrBeast's friend, who had accompanied him from the beginning, has already advanced a lot in his transition, and now names herself Ava Chris. During some videos, her changes could be seen gradually, and things were going well, but everything goes overboard with this controversy. It all starts with the leak of messages between Ava and a moderator of her Discord server, Lavags. Although many see them as proof of harassment, Lava defends Ava, assuring that they were just jokes. The situation escalates when another moderator, Nathan Wayman, accuses her of manipulating him in his adolescence and leaks 500,000 messages evidencing inappropriate interactions with minors. With more complaints against her, Jimmy, who had previously supported Ava, is forced to distance himself from Ava for the sake of his image and his company. Faced with the controversy, Jimmy declares himself disgusted and eliminates Ava from his channel, his company, and his life, in addition to hiring an external team to investigate her. Despite all the trouble caused by Ava's inappropriate behavior, the show must go on. And finally, Beast Games premieres in December 2024, amidst public expectation. However, it is not everything they expected, although in terms of views it has no problems. Being the second most watched Amazon series of the year, critics tear Beast Games apart. People who criticize it say that MrBeast, Jimmy, was too loud and superficial in the series, something that took focus away from the participants. Another controversial point is the show's message. While Squid Game denounces the exploitation of the vulnerable by oligarchs, Beast Games seems to glorify this concept, even if it is not its intention. However, the biggest controversy arises from the treatment of the contestants. In September, 5 participants sue MrBeast's production company and Amazon, accusing inhumane conditions. The harsh conditions of the shoot are revealed, with participants in an extreme state of fatigue and some hospitalized due to dangerous challenges. The news impacts the public, who cannot believe that MrBeast, known for his charity, is involved in this scandal. So far, Jimmy has not given an official statement regarding the lawsuit, although in a behind-the-scenes video on the Coolin and Samir channel, he refutes all accusations. Furthermore, a representative from MrBeast assures that they have contacted 97% of the participants to learn about their experience and improve in the future. As of today, the MrBeast empire finds itself at its most dangerous crossroads. What began as the dream of a child in North Carolina who simply wanted to crack the YouTube algorithm has transformed into a global entertainment machine that moves millions of dollars, and now millions of criticisms as well. Perhaps at the end of the day, MrBeast is neither the villain nor the hero of this story, but simply a mirror, a hyperbolized reflection of a society obsessed with money, fame, and spectacle, where we are willing to watch others suffer in a glass box, as long as it's entertaining. And you, what do you think? Do you believe MrBeast has gone too far? Or is this simply the price of success in the modern world? Let me know your opinion in the comments.